Well, Ukraine says it has destroyed about $11 billion worth of Russian bombers. It was a surprise attack, a drone attack 18 months in the making and personally overseen by Volodymyr Zelensky. Joining me live is Ukraine's ambassador to Australia, Vasyl Myroshnychenko. Vasyl, thanks so much for your time. It is extraordinary footage. Now, Ukraine says this is the destruction of 41 Russian aircraft. How much of a dent does that make in Russia's capability?
Oh, that's phenomenal. It's an extraordinary achievement for the Ukrainian defense forces, for Ukrainian intelligence agencies. Long time in planning. 30% of the Russian strategic bombers are wiped out, allegedly worth about $7 billion US. So it's a huge damage. I mean, to give you an idea on the scale of it, this is just extraordinary. I mean, that's equal to Moskva cruiser being sunk 3 years ago when we used, and this time it's actually even a step further because Russians did not expect it. We hit the aircraft at 4 or 5 different military airports, and the way it was done, meticulously organized, in full secrecy, and what a success. Look, I think there is a lot to learn for Australia from Ukraine in asymmetric warfare.
Okay, so why now? What do we make of the timing of it?
Oh, it's perfect timing, actually. Ukraine has been pounded by the Russian attacks during the past 2 weeks. The intensity of those attacks last weekend was probably the most intensive, massive attack we've ever had. Also, for diplomats to have a chance to negotiate with Russians, we have to demonstrate successes on the battlefield. Russians have been arguing that they can go on into this war forever. I don't think so. We don't think it's true. More so, we can inflict serious damage to the Russians on the Russian territory. And only our success in the battlefield will force Russia into any negotiations. So what we are currently doing, we are getting closer to peace, because only through strength we can force Russia into negotiations.
So you think this drone attack actually heightens the chances of peace talks rather than diminishes them?
Absolutely, 100%. Because that's the way it works with Russians. When they see a weakness, they will never stop. It's only the strengths that we can demonstrate will force them into negotiations. I know it doesn't sound very logical, but that's the way it works with the Russians.
What does peace look like for you, Vasyl?
Say it again?
What does peace look like for you, given the last couple of years of warfare and given Russia's red lines?
Look, the peace for me looks like the following. Russia is stopped. They stopped the war. They pay $300 billion that we have in sovereign assets are used for Ukraine's rebuild, for strengthening our army, for our defense forces. Sanctions are maintained on Russia forever until they leave Ukraine entirely. If they don't leave Ukraine and still occupy parts of it, which they now control about 20%, sanctions should remain there forever. This is how peace looks to me, and actually strong. And actually, to be frank, to have a long-lasting peace, Ukraine must be a member of NATO. I mean, that's the only way for us in the future. If we don't become a member of NATO now, we should build very strong military. We should have serious deterrence on the territory of Ukraine in the form of strategic long-range weapons, on boots on the ground from maybe European forces such as Britain and France. I mean, we must actually be able to rebuild the country. And to do so, we must stop Russia's war and actually create a deterrence which will stop Russia from reinvading us several years later when they will rebuild their army.
OK, that is a long list, Vasyl. We hope those talks happen sooner rather than later. We'll check in soon.